and I had to be at my restaurant from 5 a.m. and my day didn't end until like 8 o'clock at night, 7 days a week that this was going on. Okay. And it's physical, hard labor. And, and when you borrow money to, open the business, okay, you have no choice but to make it work. And so every day I just went and tried to be my own boss, okay, and made sure that my restaurant was successful. But it was so hard. I remember so many challenges because you've got to learn everything on your own and you've got to do everything on your own. And I remember, people don't realize this, but I literally paid myself $25 a week. I was never more poor. Even as a college student, I made more money than when I had my own restaurant. When I had a restaurant, I paid myself $25 a week. You see, and here people don't realize because I was living in my restaurant pretty much all from 5 a.m. until 8 p.m. every night and 7 days a week. And so I ate every day at the restaurant. Okay. I just went home to sleep. And so I did this for 2 years and I couldn't handle it anymore. I wanted to quit. And I joined by accident. I told my dad I wanted to quit the restaurant and sell the restaurant. And my dad said that the only way that I could do it is if I joined the business. I joined this company. Okay. And so so I said, okay. And I didn't go to BPM, Osmond. I didn't, I really didn't know what I was joining, but I figured my dad told me to sign and I just wanted to get out of the restaurant. Guess what? I signed. Okay. And so that's how I joined the business, not even a BPM, not even anything. So a lot of times people say you join for the wrong reason, but you stay for the right reason. Okay. I joined for the wrong reason, but I stayed for the right reason. When I started attending the meetings, I started learning about the financial education. And what blew my mind was that here I went to college and no one taught me about what to do with my money. No one taught me what I needed to, how I needed to save money, how I needed to invest my money, how to build my financial foundation. And I realized that at that time, my father did not have enough money for his retirement. And if my father cannot retire, guess who the retirement plan is going to be? Me and my siblings. So that's when I decided to join the business. Okay. And my first full years that I got licensed, I actually made over $100,000. When I came in here, I realized it was easier to make $100,000 in here than it was at my restaurant because there's so many expenses. And so I went to every convention. I went to every meeting that I could get my hands on because I wanted to learn. And if you can see the picture on the left right here, okay, the person standing behind me, this is my father and this is me at the meetings. And people don't realize, but we didn't have the Saving Your Future book. We don't have, things that we have today or the workshops. So every single time there was a convention, oh my goodness, I made sure that I was at every convention because I wanted to learn, okay? And I think that the convention, going through the convention because I wanted to learn, it actually helped me so much, not only in business, but in personal. You see, when I went to conventions, I saw people win. And that's where I learned my winning mentality, okay? My fighting spirit. And that was super important to me because a few years after I joined the business, when I was 29 years old, I actually turned 29 in the hospital. A lot of people don't realize that I was very sick when I was younger, okay? I went through about 6 years of period in my life where I was sick for 6 years. I had 5 surgeries. I went through a 1.5 years of chemo. And but I wanted to win so bad. I wanted to build this business. And if you can see the picture on the right, this was in 1998, okay? And I'm wearing a CEO Club shirt because this is, I don't know, every time you hear Coach talk about, about 1996, 1997, when he promoted so many CEOs, okay? And this was here, I started running for CEO in 1998, but I didn't hit it until 2012. It took me, you know, almost 15 years after joining until I hit CEO. And I tell people that, I tell people this is because, you know, going to the convention is such a crucial part of my building journey, because going to the convention, I saw people win. I saw people that I heard before was struggling in the business, and then the next convention I go to, and I see them winning, and I see them succeeding, and I see them accomplishing their dreams, and that helped me a lot, because that's what helped me to stay in this business and fight. But also that helped me in terms of personal. I shared with you earlier that I went through a period of my life where I was sick for 6 years. You know, a lot of you, you know, if you've ever been sick for a few years, okay, or a few weeks, you know that you're down. You know that you're struggling, and you don't feel good. But to be sick for 6 years, and I realized, and I look back, I thank God the meetings, I thank God the conventions, because that going to the conventions, going to the meetings taught me to fight for my dreams, taught me not to give up, taught me to hold on. And that also helped me during the time I was sick, not only in terms of it helped me in the business, but it also helped me in terms of when I was sick and when I was going through so much in my life medically. And so I appreciate the conventions for that. And I think that it's so important as an aspect of the business. And so that's where, you know, here it gave me the ability to never give up. Okay. And then, you know, getting a chance to build a business, meeting so many of the team members over the years. Okay. I don't have pictures of everybody, but you know what? These are some of the pictures of the team, and then traveling around the world with them. Okay. And so there's so many pictures that I could put on, but I just put only a few pictures, but I've been to every super trip. And I look back and I appreciate Coach for coming out with Super Trip, because you know, when I was younger, I was so sick, I barely traveled anywhere. And then here, because of the super trip, okay, and what Coach has allowed us to do with these super trips, we could take our family, we could take our team members, okay, we can build relationship, we can build bonds, and that's what the super trip did for me and my team, okay. You know, we just got back from the super trip in Spain and Portugal, and I remember the first night in Portugal, and I want to share this story because it felt so good. The first night in Portugal at the welcome dinner, I went around and I said hi to everybody. And I remember walking up to Patrick Egby's table, okay? And I was about to say hi to Patrick and the team members, right? But you know what? The first person that jumped up, okay, before I can say hi to the team was his daughter, because I've met her on multiple super trips, okay? His daughter jumped up and said, oh my gosh, I wanna say hi to you, hi to Miss Kimmy, because I haven't seen her for a while since the pandemic. And she jumped up and she gave me a big hug, you know? And that was so, and here, and I reflect back, and that was one of my precious moments on this super trip, because yes, we come into business and we build, you know, we build a team, but not only we build a team, but we also build friendship, okay? And we build family. And so I was so happy she was so happy to see me. I was so happy to see her. I was so happy to hear that the fact is now she graduated, she's working, you know, and so I'm just so proud of the young lady that she's become. And I would have never gotten a chance to get to know her without all of these super trips. And so that's what I love about the super trips. But not only that, okay, you can see in some of these pictures, you can see my father in here. He joined the business at the age of when he was 52. And our family struggled financially. We didn't have money. And the only trips that we ever went to was Houston and California to visit the family in California. And so because of this business, you know, because of all these trips, I was able to travel with my parents, and my parents have been able to travel. And so, here's a picture of my parents, and they've been to about 45 countries, from a family that didn't have money, from a family that sometimes had to drove to California because it costs so much to drive, to fly the whole family to California. Sometimes we drove to California to visit our family. But then because of this business, my family was able to travel. My parents have been able to travel to 45 countries around the world. Okay. And I was able to travel to 45, up to like about 43 countries, but I was able to travel with them. I was able to experience things with them that my siblings, because they're not in the business, was not able to experience with my parents. Okay. And because of this business, like I said, my dad brought me into the business, because of this business, he's been able to retire comfortably. As a matter of fact, when he retired at the age of 75, okay, these are some of the pictures of me traveling with him, but I've been to about 43 different countries, okay? I can't wait to go back to Egypt, right, in September. But, here, with me and my father on one of the trips to South Korea, right? And so these are memories that I have, and these are memories that are so precious to me, okay? And, I'm so grateful for the business because, when my father retired at age 75, he retired making over $500,000, okay? And he retired making over $500,000. And then in 2017, I also I remember in 2015, okay, right when we went to Spain, okay, I declared that I was going to run for $1 million. Okay. I wanted to run for my $1 million ring because I saw Liz Zezzarati. When Liz hit it, I said, oh my gosh, if Liz can do this, I want to do this too. And so I wanted to be around people that are succeeding. I wanted to be around people that were growing in their business and build the type of friendships that I have with all of these people in the business right now. And so you see, but I didn't hit it until 2 years later. I hit it in 2017. But that was a memory that going back to this super trip that reminded me that I declared that I was going to hit it that I wanted to run for it in 2015, but I didn't hit it until 2017. But you know what? That taught me that, there's so many times that, people declare runs and they give up, and I'm here to share with you. I've been declaring, just like the shirt that I wore in 1998, I declared that I wanted to run for CEO in 1998, but I didn't hit CEO until 2012. I'm not your fast builder, okay? So it took me from 1995 to 2012 to become a CEO in the company, right? And then it took me from 1995 to join the business until 17 to make $1 million in this company. And so you see, I realized that, and as I was reflecting over this last couple of weeks, I realized that over the last 27 years, I thought about quitting so many times. I thought about giving up so many times. I thought about thinking about, what, it was so hard because there's so many challenges in business. But what kept me going was that I was so inspired by other people going to conventions. I was so inspired by other people that they were winning for their family. And I knew that if I quit, that means that I was quitting on my family. And I know that I cannot do that. And so that's what kept me in this business all of these years. And so, I'm so grateful. As right now, I just want to share as 27 years later in the business, life has, a lot of things have gone through, we've gone through a lot of challenges. A lot of you see things that are today, okay? You see what we have today, but you don't realize the challenges, the struggles that we have to go through, just like you. There were times that I couldn't pay my bills. There were times that I was struggling. There were times that I didn't get I got a tiny check, like $30. And there were times that I didn't know what I should do, whether I should quit the business. But thank God that I never quit. Right now, my father has Parkinson and my mother has cancer. And we found that out during the pandemic. But I am so grateful for this company, because without this company, we wouldn't have been preparing for their challenges right now. You see, these are part of the future that we have to prepare for. And what WFG taught us, what especially WSB, the financial education, they taught us how to prepare. They taught us how to prepare for long-term care. They taught us how to prepare for, um, proper protection, for estate planning. I'm so grateful for the diversified platform. I remember when Coach came out with it, we didn't know anything about estate planning. And thank God that we did, because when we learned, because, a few years ago, my mom had a double aneurysm. So when the first thing, when we got to the hospital, they said, does she have a medical directive? And without the education that we got from this company, we would not have all of that in place. So I'm so appreciative of the financial education. I love the financial education because of this reason, okay? Because I'm witness to it right now. I love the fact that we are prepared for long-term care. I love the fact that we are prepared for all the medical challenges that my parents have right now. And then I look back and I'm so grateful for WSB, because they allowed my parents to travel all these last several years. And right now, where I know that it's very hard for them to travel in the future, I'm grateful for the fact that they were able to travel in the past, because they can't travel anymore. But I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that they lived a great life and they fulfilled their dreams and got a chance to see the world. And I'm grateful for the fact that I got a chance to travel with them. So I'm so grateful for so many things. I'm grateful for WSB for all the trips and everything. I'm grateful for Coach. I'm grateful for Alicia, Andrew, my aunt, for being there so many times when I wanted to quit and give up. I'm grateful for all the friendships that I've made in this company, because it's not about the money. The money is wonderful, but it's more than that. It's about the friendship, that I have. I have so many brothers and sisters in this business. Joyce and Victor, Karen and Chris, Kevin and Christina, Chloe and her husband, and, Helen. There's so many people I'm grateful for. So it's not just about the money, it's about the lifestyle that this company has given me. And I'm grateful that now I'm able to build a legacy. I get a chance to see my parents, and I get a chance to be with them, and I get a chance to take care of them, but I get a chance to build a legacy for the future. I know that I'm not worried about my future. I'm not worried about their future. I'm not worried about my family's future. Financially, I can take care of any problem that comes down the road. I'm grateful for that peace of mind. Without this opportunity, I wouldn't have that peace of mind right now. And it doesn't come overnight. It came from a lot of years of hard work. And I'm very grateful.